Alrighty, everybody, welcome back once again to Wednesday, Blender Day. Also, special day today. This is my birthday, June 22nd. I turned the big 6-0 today. So, a quick video. Well, kind of quick. You know, again, in my definition of quick, but it shouldn't be too long. I don't want to get into a whole lot on my birthday. But you guys, some of you guys that got Fluent and stuff are liking Fluent and everything, and you know, it's kind of easy though, you know, and that's the reason for it. You know, like I said, most of the people that are here on my channel are beginners and they're looking to make money, so they're looking to get started quickly in Blender and do modeling quickly. In other words, they don't want to fool with the vertices and inserting edge loops and having to move them around, and you know, they want an add-on, you know, like HardOps, Fluent, and Grid Modeler and RanTools, which I'm going to bring up in a minute. But they want some kind of an add-on where they can just draw on the box or draw on the item what they want and just draw it out, and you know, it's there. You know, that presents more problems than doing it manually in default Blender. Because in Blender, you're just working with the vertices. If you're going to be using an add-on, well, it's going to be bringing in modifiers and changing settings in Blender that you know nothing about as a beginner, that is. Because you haven't got to that point yet where you're learning about, you know, shaders, modifiers, and constraints, and drivers, and all that stuff. So that's the give and take, you know, when you get add-ons. And also for the summer, I'm going to lay off on the add-ons after today, because you guys need to be learning some default Blender. We need to start doing default, because for the simple fact that these add-ons and stuff that you're going to get into later on down the road, they're going to be getting into, you know, modifiers and stuff like that, and you're going to have to understand what modifiers are doing, because no matter what your problem you get, if you're using Fluent or HardOps, you know, whatever, and you go to put a mirror modifier on something and it's not mirroring in the right direction, and it's somewhere way out in space, and you're wondering how the hell did that happen, you know. Well, you probably, you know, got a rotation or something, or scale or something done on it, and you didn't reset your transforms, you know, or, you know, something like that. But you can find out. Again, I say this over and over. You don't have to hit Discords and forum boards and stuff to ask questions. Open up the modifier list, look at your modifiers, and figure out what's going on. That's all, you know. Look at your end panel. Go up to the tools and views and all that stuff. Where's your rotations at? You know, where are they? Are they all set to 0, or are they all wonky? Because if they're all wonky, well, that's where your mirror is at. You know, but you got to know how these tools work. You know, and you know, I haven't even touched on shrink wrap modifiers, and you know, a whole bunch of other, you know, stuff. But I mean, there's just so many settings. Let me open up here. For every kind of tool and every single thing that you guys do, there's just, you know, settings and stuff, and that's what involves troubleshooting. And you guys gotta physically actually do this, because for the people that are in the membership, they're doing cool stuff, but they're doing some more advanced stuff. They're creating some luxury cars. You know, we're doing, you know, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Rolls Royces and stuff. And we're talking complete cars, interior and everything, and even engine. You know, complete engine with all the hoses and cables and everything. And we're using a lot of add-ons in the membership, because again, that's a different kind of people. You know, that's people. You know, they might be, you know, not necessarily looking to make money with Blender, but they might. but they're also, learn, they want to be 3D artists. They want to use Blender in game development. They want to use Blender in film, and filming and stuff like that to make, 3D and stuff and films and want to know how to do all that, and so they're looking for, a deeper understanding of Blender as far as getting into physics and getting into particles, getting into animation and, rotoscoping, and a whole bunch, green screen, a whole bunch of other stuff, that's way past you guys right now. That's not being insultive or anything, but that's just the truth of it. I mean, I don't know how more nicer to say it. That's just way beyond you guys right now. But so you guys want something a little more, that does a little more than Fluent, but not as much as HardOps, because that's too complicated. Well, without going, like I said, I don't want to demonstrate the tool, but I will be doing tutorials on it, and we will be covering everything, just like Fluent. I'll be covering this tool in depth. For those of you that want to get it, their links are in the description. So be sure to check that out. All the links actually to all the stuff that I use or will be using, and all these tutorials and everything are in that description. If you're interested, if you're not, don't worry about it. But with that, I just want to go over and show you guys the menus and stuff, because this gets easy, but it gets complicated. And again, I'll be using, you can see right here, I'm using my pie menu. I've mentioned this before, because I use this because the carpal tunnel that I got in my right wrist and stuff, I've got this add-on, and this is just for me. I got pie menu just because I needed to create my own custom pie menus and stuff, so I can use the mouse with my left hand and just hit 2 buttons with my right hand to activate my pie menus. This is my normal pie menu for my normal stuff, and this is one that just has my add-ons. You can see HardOps, Fluent, and RanTools. So before you guys ask when you see what are you using, that's what I'm using to get that. But anyway, as far as the RanTools go, let's go take a look at it. The first thing that you guys are going to love, well, you're not going to love now, but because you don't know about it yet, but you will love it. For those of you who come in from YouTube, that's the bake option in RanTools. It makes baking so simple. Now, you don't know how difficult or how time-consuming it is now because you haven't really baked anything in Blender and went through all the menu options and choices and clicks and down the rabbit hole that you got to do to go through and, get your, bake your bakes, then, all that stuff, go back into the instance, go into your shader, put them on, we'll get into it, but this makes it with just a couple of clicks. We can open it up right here's the bake window, texture to bake. I mean, it's all here, everything. Diffuse, roughness, metallic, glossy, normal, height, ID maps. That's for if you're getting images off of online services and stuff. I'll get into that when we cover it. But selected, create a new material. We got AO, emission, opacity, UV. I mean, everything is here. Your resolution, bake textures, bake bevels. I mean, it's all here with this, and that's going to be a long journey just going over all of that and teaching you guys how to do all of that. Then we wrong menu. We got our curves pie, and see, these are all pies. Create a cable, create a curve, simulate wires, edge to curve. So this is all covering curves. And bowling, this is your drawing from your library. You can create material. We can draw. When we go into draw, we got the window right here, all of our shortcut tools and everything like that. Like I said, we'll go over all of that stuff, but it's kind of like Blender and HardOps. Works the same way. You draw a square, pull it down. It's got a grid on it. Like Fluent has a grid. Well, and HardOps, has a grid now. Just in their own different ways. But that's getting to that. Then we got the main pie menu for modifier adjustments, material transfers. You can transfer materials from one object to another object or multiple objects, and you can change them and make changes in all of them all at once, all through this menu here. Remove UV grids, add UV grid, dice. I mean, dice is kind of the same thing that's in BoxCutter. If you know how dice works in BoxCutter, pretty much close to the same thing. Switch display type. It's not active now because we don't have anything in the scene. But anyway, you can see right here all of this stuff. You know, material menu. Let's put a cube in here. Now you see you can add your own material. We'll go back in here. Material. You got a material library, and we can search. We can search for wood. Now see, this goes out online, and to a service online that downloads. You just search for them, and it'll put it automatic. Everything will be put on it. If you hold Control and click on the size that you want, you know, you got a 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K. You just hold Control and click on this, and everything will be set up in your shader editor. All the nodes and everything will be put in to have this on there. You don't have to do nothing. Just hold Control and click that. Now, if you don't hold Control, if you just click the 2K button, then it'll just download it, and you'll have to go through all that yourself. And as this goes on, you know, let's search metal. You know, as you search, this will add to your cache, so to speak. So the next time you pull this up, all this will be, you know, will be here for you. Now you see you're in metal, and we got the forward and backwards button here that we can just click forward and go to the next one. My recording software is slowing mine down right now, but you can see that's kind of brassy, and it's going to each one, but you get the idea. You know, if you're not recording or if you got a faster internet connection, this will go much quicker. But you see what's coming up right here, you know. But that's your material library. That's got an asset library. You can put stuff in your asset library, and it'll manage all your assets in a pop-up window like that and everything. But like I said, and you got, you know, your menu up here. You got this drop down. You know, we'll go over all these options and all that stuff and everything. And also you got the C panel over here that has, or the M panel, C panel. You're at, you know, you got your backup. I didn't even cover backup yet, but that's when you're modeling, and you know, let's say you're modeling a cube or whatever. You know, it's kind of intense. You know, you got 15 bowling objects, you know, cuts on on here, and you got all kinds of stuff going on, and you want to try something that you don't know if it's going to work or not. You know, and it might crack, you know, whatever. Well, before you try that, you can back it up right here. You know, and it's just also in the pie menu, but you can click right here and add and back it up and name it, and that way if it does crash and everything when it reloads, you can go back here and recover it. I got something similar up here, which is my power backup that does the same thing. So this is kind of like a double feature for me. You got camera tools, all kinds, aspects ratio, rendering resolutions, focal length, depth of field, shutter speed. Now, if you're into photography, you understand all of this. You know what all this stuff is and everything. And that's cool. You know, your curve tool, random tools, which is your mirror, your origin geometry and everything. And there's a shortcut in the menu. There's a shortcut right here. Right here. You know, you got a curve adjustment. Apply all modifiers, extract face, inset shrink, you know, convert to plane, origin to geometry, kind of like a quick shortcut menu for most popular things, you know, that you use, you know, in your material, you know, libraries, your bake tools, light. You got a whole lighting system in this setup also. Now it's not as, like I said, it's not as intense and complicated as my pro lighting setup, you know, that I've gotten. But for you guys that are just starting out, you know, it'll do wonders for you guys. And P-Cutter. which will, again, that's another part of the tool that we'll get into. And that's pcutter works kind of like BoxCutter's shape tool works. Like if I turn, if I was just to, make a 45-degree angle right here and cut the corner of that box off in BoxCutter, how it does that. Well, that's pcutter works the same way. You just draw a shape right here or something into this, and it'll slice right through it and cut it out. You can get some, if you're trimming something or, doing boxing, a design out real quick or something, that's what, that's used for. And it does it really quickly. But anyway, that's about it for this one. Just to show you guys what's coming up. So now, since you guys want something a little bit, in between, Fluent and HardOps and BoxCutter, this is where this is going to sit, RanTools. And there's a couple more that come with this too. But for the majority of the part, we're going to be just using the RanTools because it's like a Swiss Army knife of, everything. It's got lights in it, it's got material in it, it's got cables in it, it's got curves in it. I mean, it does a little bit of almost everything. And, but like I said, it's in the medium range of complications. So you guys got to understand that. Like I've showed you, right here with the menus. We've got, and then there's more menus inside these menus. So, you're getting, toward BoxCutter area. Not as much, BoxCutter's loaded with a lot, but you definitely got a lot more menus than Fluent. So, and that means a lot more stuff to grasp. And for that, it's what we're going, like I told you again, June and July, and, well, we'll see. June and July, definitely. We'll see about August. But August, we might actually get to work and start modeling and doing our porn, doing our art viz. A lot of you want to get into architectural visualization and, and some of you want to get into other stuff. Some of you want to get into gaming assets and making games, with Blender and Unreal. And all that stuff, I would say, will probably start in August. But like I said, June, or the rest of June and July, and like I said, we'll see, maybe half of August, but we'll see. But definitely all of June is going to be about getting the basics down of Blender. And, I'll get started on it, and we'll see, because there's a lot to cover. We can't cover all of the basics in 1 month, but we're going to go over it because, trust me, I know it's going to be boring. You guys don't want to, but all of this stuff over here, all these, the modifiers, constraints, physics, all this stuff, drivers and everything. And we haven't even got into vertex groups and shape keys. I haven't even mentioned that yet, but you're going to have to know that stuff. If you guys are going to want to get into these advanced add-ons and stuff, like AutoRig Pro, for those of you that are going to be making characters, for games, well, you're going to have to rig them. Now, you can either do that by default with Blender's default rigging, or do what I do, quickly and use AutoRig. But again, if you don't know or have never used Blender's AutoRig, Blender's rigging, or haven't used rigging before, then AutoRig is going to be a complicated thing, because you don't. It's another tool that's kind of in depth that you know nothing about. You don't know about IK and all that stuff, how it works, and or anything. So, these are all the stuff that you got to learn before you get into these add-ons. Because, like I said, they use because they're automatic. You just you just click here and draw a square and then pull down, and you've cut into this. Both all of them, Fluent, RanTool, and HardOps all do that. But since you want it to be that easy, they do. The add-on does all the hard work for you by creating the modifiers, applying the modifiers, doing all the auto shading and stage smoothing and all that stuff and everything. So when something screws up, it's over here. It's in your modifier list or your texture or whatever it's using. More than likely, it's usually in the modifier list. But if it's screwing up, you can over here is where you're going to fix it. Not on Discord. You're going to fix it over here and figure out a setting and why it's screwing up. Because if it's screwing up, it's because of a setting that's misset wrong, or what you think the add-on should be doing is not what it's doing. Which, again, if you go into the settings, you'll find out, which setting is screwing up or which modifier is screwing up and stuff. And then you'll know, so you won't repeat that mistake next time. But with that, we'll let you guys all go, and I can get back to enjoying my birthday. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Have fun, y'all.